Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In December 1933, 5-year-old Shirley Temple signed with a nearly bankrupt Fox Studios. In history looks back at how she revived the studio's fortunes and became a superstar. The lesson was time is money, and it's work not play. And I learned that before I became a star. When Shirley Temple was interviewed on the BBC in 1989 about her superstar childhood, she was enjoying a remarkable second act in her career as a U.S. diplomat. Despite being at one time Hollywood's best-paid star, she had to work because most of her millions were long gone. You also saved 20th Century Fox from bankruptcy, didn't you? Chat show host Terry Wogan asked the woman who was by then known by her married name, Shirley Temple Black. "I think so," she replied. In 1933, Fox Studios was nearly bankrupt. Founded by William Fox in 1915, it thrived during the silent movie era. By the time the Great Depression arrived, it was operating at a loss, owed millions, and share prices had plummeted. To the rescue, one blonde, curly-haired little girl. 2 weeks before signing her contract with the studio, she had been cast in Stand Up and Cheer, alongside James Dunn, who was to play her father. While their parts were relatively small, the pair made such an impression that they were immediately cast in more films together. Shirley Temple became a household name. Temple's first foray into show business came when her mother took her to dance classes. Aged 2.5, she told the BBC, "I had so much energy and wouldn't take a nap that she put me in a neighborhood dancing school that was less than 2 miles from our house. And I would work out there, learn the rumba and the tango." It was in that school where she was discovered by director Charles Lamont and cast in a series of short films called Baby Burlesques. She was paid a total of $10 for every day she was filming, but rehearsals were unpaid, and Temple was not complimentary about the production. She said, "He wasn't a great producer. He was a very cheap producer. It was part of a lot in Hollywood called Poverty Row." Lamont, along with producer Jack Hayes, worked for the Educational Films Corporation. The then 3-year-old starred in 8 films, but the set was not a pleasant place for Temple or the other child actors there. She described a punishment for misbehaving. "They had 2 sound boxes on our set. One of them had a big cake of ice in it, and when any of us misbehaved, we were sent one by one into the black box to cool off and think about it. In the dark with the door closed." She added, "I got a lot of earaches, I got a lot of styes, I got a lot of problems from that. I was in the box several times." Also, parents weren't allowed on the set with their children. Instead, Temple's mother made costumes, gave her acting lessons, and styled her hair every night into distinctive ringlets. The topics of the films, nowadays, seem incredibly inappropriate. Temple described them as takeoffs of adult movies. One of the first characters she played was named Moreleg's Sweet Trick, a pun on film star Marlene Dietrich. War Babies featured a 3-year-old Shirley dressed in an off-the-shoulder blouse and a nappy held with a comically large safety pin, dancing for other children playing soldiers, who fight over her and give her lollipops. In Politics in Washington, she is a strumpet sent to seduce a senator. In her first scene, she wears a bra and is filing her nails. She later turns up to the senator's office wearing strings of pearls and tells the toddler playing the senator she's been sent to entertain him. Temple noted in her autobiography, Child Star, that the films were a cynical exploitation of our childish innocence, and also occasionally were racist or sexist. The next step was a series of small roles under contract with producer, writer, and director Jack Hayes. When he went bankrupt, her father bought back her contract, having realized how bad it had been in the first place. Not long afterwards, Temple was spotted dancing in a lobby by a songwriter who worked for Fox. She was asked to audition for Stand Up and Cheer, a film that was currently shooting. She got a small part, which meant 2 weeks' pay. The film's premise is that the Great Depression is the result of a lack of optimism, so auditions are held to find entertainers to cheer people up. Temple and James Dunn were partners in a dance sequence. There wasn't enough time for her to learn, so she taught Dunn a dance that she had learned for a different performance. Immediately after filming, she was offered a 1-year contract with a potential 7-year extension for $150 a week. Her mother was also paid to accompany her on set. They signed the contract on 21 December 1933. In her autobiography, Temple called it the first in a series of clouds to hover darkly over the next 7 years. Temple and Dunn's next film was Baby, Take a Bow, which premiered in April 1934. She was also loaned out to other studios for thousands of dollars, many times what she was being paid. Later that year, Bright Eyes came out, written specifically for the pair. The film featured a song that would become her signature tune, On the Good Ship Lollipop. In her first year with the company, she appeared in 10 films. That year was so notable that at the 1935 Oscars, she was presented with the first Academy Juvenile Award, and she remains the youngest person to have been awarded one. Temple proved to be a big box office draw for Depression-era audiences who wanted to see optimistic, happy films in theaters. President Franklin D. Roosevelt said of her, "During this depression, when the spirit of the people is lower than at any other time, it is a splendid thing that for just 15 cents an American can go to a movie and look at the smiling face of a baby and forget his troubles." But Fox Studios had been struggling ever since the stock market crash of 1929, and in 1934, Fox merged with 20th Century Pictures to become 20th Century Fox. According to Vanity Fair, Fox executive Winfield Sheehan said, "They didn't buy the Fox studio, they bought Shirley Temple." As her films became more lucrative, her pay also increased until she was the best-paid star in Hollywood, all by the age of 10. Her work schedule may have been intense, but as an adult she looked back on it fondly. After signing the contract with Fox, her mother was always on set with her. One notable thing that separated Temple from other child stars is that she had a close relationship with her parents. She dedicated her autobiography to her loving mother. Other child stars weren't as lucky. In 1939, California passed the California Child Actors Bill, commonly known as the Coogan Act, after Jackie Coogan. Coogan, born 13 years before Temple, became one of the first child stars when he appeared with Charlie Chaplin in the 1921 hit movie, The Kid. He earned millions of dollars, but it was spent by his mother and stepfather, whom he sued in 1938. The legal battle led to California passing a bill that specified working conditions and ensured that 15% of a child actor's wages would be set aside in a so-called Coogan account.